in to Two Guys and a Mic with special guest Tony. We are doing the NFC West this week, and I'm just fair warning people right now. Things got really chippy in the pre-lobby. As you can see, we have two Raider fans who obviously hate the 49ers just as much as we hate the Raiders. And
got so tense, I had to put
I don't hate
doubles
the
on
Niners.
timeout.
I have them winning a lot of games. It's just we differentiate on quarterback opinions. But anyways, yeah, we'll go there.
That time will come. You just enjoy not being in the Bay Area anymore.
Yeah. So anyways, I'm just fair warning during that time segment, things are probably gonna get pretty heated. So if you want to skip to the drama, we're doing the Niners last on this particular podcast. So I would suggest skipping to that. If you're all about the drama, then maybe you can come back and watch the rest of the podcast. But we're going to start things off with the Cardinals, who I have ranked dead last in the NFL. They honestly could go 0-17. It's just going to depend, I really think, against the game against Houston. Or if they catch a team sleeping somewhere during the season. So really, I got them probably 1-17. And I do have one question for you guys. By the time Murray's ready to come back at quarterback, if they're like 1-7, 0-8, something like that,
I don't even have them winning a game by the time he comes back.
Yeah, would you let him play, or would you just say, okay, we're going to scratch this year. Let's just go ahead and get the number one pick. Now they won't need a quarterback, obviously, because they have their franchise quarterback, so they could use that number one pick. They could trade it. Because obviously people are always falling in love with quarterbacks coming out of college. They can probably get a great haul and maybe start that rebuilding process. I am disappointed that they didn't find a trade suitor for Hopkins. I think just straight up letting him go was a big mistake. I'd have pretty much just taken anything anyone would have given me. But Tony, let's start with you. What you got on the Cardinals?
I like the approach you just outlined, and I think that's what they should do. Only because, like, going into their bye, I have them 2-11 going into the bye, and they have a late bye, so they're just a team that's shattered. Kyler Murray is going to come back from this devastating knee injury to a mobile quarterback. I don't even think they should bring him back at all this season if they haven't won one game in the first 5 games. I have them beating the Rams at home, and that's assuming Kyler Murray comes back. But I have them basically losing out through the bye week. They beat Atlanta only because Atlanta's young, still getting their thing together. But if they can't have Kyler Murray on the field, I agree with you, Scott. They're going to be a very, very low, the worst team in the NFL. I have them going 3-14. So that's my opinion. I agree with exactly what you just outlined. They should just tank to get the number one pick because they can use that to get so much draft capital. It's not even funny. They don't need a quarterback. Everybody wants a quarterback.
Yeah, unless they fall in love.
And even if, don't forget, they got a new regime now, new head coach, new GM. If for some reason off the wall they decide Murray is not the way they want to go, Murray's contract's too big. Another team's not going to want to take that over. Mm-hmm. So whether they want to or not, I think they're stuck with Murray. I think Murray gives them the best option though. But I agree with you guys as far as the record. I think their best shots of winning any games are between weeks 10 and 12. That's Atlanta, Houston, and the home game in Arizona against the Rams. I think that's their best shot of winning any games of the season.
Yeah, but they have no team. Like, look at the wide receivers. They got rid of the number one wide receiver. Zach Ertz is always hurt. Marquise Brown hasn't been good since he was in the Ravens. And he was before he got hurt, he was the number 6 receiver last year.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, but Kyler Murray's not that good, period.
And he did that. And you can't say, oh, well, that's because Hopkins was there. He did that before Hopkins came back.
Yeah, true. But I still don't like him. He would do way better again with the Ravens.
Running back is where they need help, though.
100%. James Conner ain't going to do anything.
Yeah. Matt?
Matt, I got them going 2-15. I got them beating, I believe, Houston, and I think Atlanta from what I have.
Yeah, that's that week 10 and 11 game.
Yeah, they just have it's just it's going to be a rebuild. It's a full. I'm surprised they haven't tore it down yet. I mean, the Kyler Murray situation, like Scott said, I think that they will be in the running for that number one pick, and I think the other team we're going to talk about in this division is going to give them a run for that number one pick. which is the Rams. But I don't know. I don't know where they go from here. I'm reading a lot of articles, just a lot of beat reporters saying, is Kyler Murray the actual franchise quarterback? Did they make the mistake to sign him? I like to call him Warzone Murray because he likes to play a lot of Call of Duty. So, I mean, it's just, do they have the franchise quarterback on this roster? They said he could be traded and they can take on some of the contract for the team that's going to take on the contract. I don't see this team being anywhere near competitive for the next 4 to 5 years, and that's generous. So they're in a lot of flux right now. We'll wait and see. Like Tony said, do they get a lot of draft capital for the number 1 pick, or do they just end up moving on from Murray and taking one of those top 4 or 5 quarterbacks?
They could. I mean, they could do both. They could move on from Murray, still have that number 1 pick, plus get picks for Murray.
Well, who would? Okay, if you were to,
exactly,
who's going to take Murray?
Yeah, that's the question. Who's going to need a quarterback?
1,000% see the Raiders doing it.
Don't you put that evil on us, Ricky Bobby?
Anything's better than Jimmy G.
In a box, put it underneath the.
You just don't get me started, bro. Mm-hmm. Wait till we get to the Niners.
I can see it.
Sign Jimmy Garoppolo. Nothing's out the fucking windows when it comes.
I know nothing's out the window, but don't you put that evil on us, Ricky Bobby? No way, bro. No.
So you'd rather have Jimmy over Kyler?
I'd rather have neither. I'd rather just tank and not play a single game.
I mean, really, I don't really know what else to add to this Cardinal conversation. I don't really have much to even speak on them. I do think I'm interested to see how Rondell Moore is going to do.
Rondell.
Rondell. Yeah. I am interested to see how he's going to do as the number 2 wide receiver. They might have their wide receiver set in place right now. But then again, you have Colt McCoy, who's supposed to be the quarterback till Murray comes back.
Yeah, I'm hearing him and Clayton Tune are battling to see who's going to start the year.
Clayton Tune was their round 5 pick.
Yeah.
And when you got a Clayton Tune and Colt McCoy battling now for who's going to be the starting quarterback week 1. But I mean, I'm hearing a lot of rumors that Kyler Murray can be ready, middle of the year. I mean, I'm hearing week 5, 6, but like Scott said, they let him play if they're 0-6, 0-7. I think they will. They'll give him a couple games to see how he is.
I was reading articles that he's going to be ready in September. And so week 3 or 4 September, not week 5 or 6. I mean, 5, 6 is different than 3 and 4. Because if you're 0-3 and you think Kyler Murray could bring you back, you play. But I don't think they bring him back. I don't think they should. I think even if he comes in that early, I don't think they push it and bring him in too quickly because he is a 100% mobile quarterback. Everybody knows that. With the knee injury that he had, the first wrong step or wrong hit he takes, especially if he comes back not fresh or not 100%, it's just going to ruin his career, and it's going to ruin any of their chances of trading him away or getting some capital for him. Like Mike said, they have two pathways for capital, and that's the first draft pick if they're able to tank all the way down and beat the Rams to the first pick, or get out of Murray, get out of that contract with Murray and move him over somewhere else. But if he fucks himself up, they can't get out of that. No one's going to take
say Murray does come back week 6. Here's their first 5 games: at Washington, home against the Giants, home against Dallas, at San Francisco, and home against the Bengals.
Lose all of them. Doesn't matter.
0-5. So for them to even be in the playoff hunt, if Murray comes back week 6, they're going to have to go 9-3 the remaining games.
Yeah, they don't have the roster
to even be in the playoff hunt. At that point,
they're not going to be in the playoff
after 5 weeks.
Think about go with what I said. If he comes back week 3, Dallas, San Francisco, the Bengals, the Rams, they're only winning 0 of those 4 games if he comes back in week 3. So he's not the game changer there.
Here's the other thing, Tony, is this new head coaching, they need to see if Murray's also going to work in their offense.
Yeah.
I think he's regardless of their record, he's going to probably end up having to play because he's going to work with what they want to do at the quarterback position. And, it may come down to they may try to transfer him from less mobile to more of a pocket passer. Maybe they just try to do more rollouts with him. One of the complaints is they didn't like Cliff Kingsbury's play calling. They didn't like the offense that he was trying to run with him. So maybe Murray will have better success under some new play calling.
Coaching, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well, they have to see what they have. Whether it, like Scott said, they have to see if he works in the system, and if it's not working, at the same time he's trying out for other teams. No, other teams can get a look at him, see if he still has it, if that leg's healthy. So if they do go into the offseason next year, maybe the trade market's open for Kyler Murray at that point.
But let's hope he's in his little off time that he has right now. He's not playing too much Warzone, and he's actually fucking reading the playbook.
You guys want to announce the mediocre sign of the week?
Hold on,
Marlon Mack.
Hold on.
Yeah.
What can get for Murray if they trade him?
I think they get multiple firsts, though. He's young.
Multiple firsts?
I think they get 2.
Not with the knee injury that he had.
Maybe a first and a second. I don't think it's a first. I could see maybe a first and a second.
Oh, no.
I don't think multiple.
This is real life football. No, this ain't fantasy. They can get at least 2 firsts for him. He just tore his ACL. It wasn't like he tore the whole knee. Just a regular ACL tear.
You got to remember, the year before that, he took him to the playoff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was a top.
Yeah, but not multiple firsts. Like, he hasn't. I think I'm with Mike on this one. 1 first, not multiple. What? I think it's a first in that year and a second in the following year. I don't think it's multiple.
If a 38-year-old Rodgers can go for a first, then like what? Kyle Murray is what? Only 24?
25.
25. Yeah,
he actually. Oh, shout out Kyler Murray! Happy birthday today.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday, Kyler Murray. Hope you're healthy.
Happy birthday, no, I'm shitting all over him.
Don't stay up too late playing Warzone now.
Yeah, I know.
Hit those books. That playbook.
Matt, what were you going to say about the mediocre signing of the week?
Oh, Mike said it. Marlon Mack to the Arizona Cardinals to help that backfield out with James Conner.
Oh, yeah, that's going to do it for you. Yeah. So, you guys got anything else you guys want to add?
Not for the Cards, no.
I don't think there's much to argue with them.
On to the Rams. Another shit team. Rams winning 3 to 4 games. Bottom 5 team. And I don't think it's so much their offense. I mean, well, okay, let me rephrase that. If Stafford and Kupp stay healthy, Cam Akers continues to improve the way he did, the offense is going to be decent. They're going to move the ball a little bit. Now, Kupp's already getting hurt in training camp.
Hammy, yeah.
Stafford still has the same back issues. If you lose both of them again, they're going to be terrible. You were at my house yesterday, and what were you talking about that? I don't want to talk about your news, but go ahead and talk about that defense. I mean, that defense.
Oh. Like I was telling Tony before we came on, I was like, the Cardinals and Rams are going to be the 2 bottom feeders of the team of the NFL, man. It's just I was telling Tony, name me 3 guys outside of Aaron Donald on the starting defensive unit for the Rams without looking, and I can't. I had to go look at this depth chart to see.
I can name 1 guy, and it's embarrassing. One of their starting corners is Witherspoon.
I said 3.
I know, but I'm just saying.
At least you named 1. I could have named 1.
Niner,
and he's not good. He's terrible.
They don't even have him on the starting. He's 3rd string.
I just looked at the depth chart. They have him.
I'm looking at the depth chart right now, and he's 3rd string.
No, he's starting. He's going to be their second.
For what they have on that roster, he should be starting.
Yeah.
But this team is always going to be in shootouts. This team is always going to be down. This team is not going to stop anybody, especially in this division with the Seahawks and Niners. And they have a tough schedule. I'm looking at it. They're playing a lot of
you got a lot of high power. Yeah, you got a lot of high power offenses. The defense is going to be able to stop them. You play Seattle twice, San Francisco twice. Both those teams, the offense can put up points.
Yep.
Besides that, you got the Bengals, you got the Eagles, the Steelers can put up points. Dallas can put up points. Cleveland's got high expectations this year. You got Baltimore. You got the Saints, who's probably going to be able to put up some points this year now too. And I didn't even throw Green Bay in there.
Yeah.
Just because it's kind of a question mark on how they're going to be. But
let's take it back to the offseason. How we all heard in the offseason, McVay, we heard he was probably going to retire, the rumors through the rumor mill.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Donald was on the fence about retiring, at the end of the season, but they all decided to bring it back for 1 more year.
They should have left.
They should have. But I don't see this team getting any more than 4 wins, man.
It's
I have
tough.
I have him 4-12.
If you have this defense giving up all these points, you're just putting this offensive line is not great. It's the bottom like 20-ish offensive line. It's horrible. And like Scott said, with Stafford with the back issues, you're always down. You have an offensive line that's not very good. You're asking him to protect Stafford. You know, he's not mobile. Just one hit, man, and it could be
over for him.
It could be done. And it's a bad situation. And I'm afraid of Cooper Kupp this year. And I know we don't talk about fantasy, but I'm afraid for him. Like Scott said, he's getting injured right now with the soft tissue injuries in camp with the hamstring. And it's just how is he going to be during the year? It's a lot of questions on this team. I don't know where it's going, but
what week do they start Stetson Bennett?
Do we think? Well, okay.
I don't think.
Let me ask the response. Let me ask the question to Mike's question. Is Stafford getting hurt, or are they replacing Stafford for Stetson? Because
either way,
yeah. I think they can start the season 0-5.
I had them beating the Colts, but I could see them 0-5.
I had them beating the Colts too, but 0-5. Yeah.
So if this team at the trade deadline is out of it, and they've said, I read an article about a month ago saying that if the Rams were out of playoff contention, that Aaron Donald could be looked to be shipped. And I think I told Scott about that during the offseason, that they can ship Donald and Stafford. So
look, if I was the Rams, I would have blown this up.
Last year.
It's a rebuild.
It's a rebuild, yeah.
The point, you don't have a roster to compete.
Nope.
Like, you got a couple superstars. After that, you got a bunch of no names all across the board. After Kupp, just nobody to throw to.
Van Jefferson.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, and don't forget, I mean,
Matt's favorite player, Higbee.
No, I'm just saying that's the depth behind. There's nothing there.
Now, I mean, the Rams, they did blow all their first round, early round picks in all the trades that they did.
Yeah,
they had a small window. They got a championship out of it,
and that's all that matters. That's what they were going for. It's time to blow it up. Like,
they got their championship. You got your Super Bowl.
They're holding it on too long.
Yeah.
Once you get your Super Bowl, if you know you're not going to be able to maintain that caliber of team again, you got to blow it up. I mean, when they started losing Ramsey and started losing all these.
That's another thing. Why would you trade your best secondary player if you don't plan on like blowing it up? Like,
it's like they piecemealed it. Didn't make sense.
And the cap Donald, it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Well, okay, back to Donald. Donald was already contemplating retirement before, and he's like, I'll come back. If they say they're going to trade him, do you think he retires or he goes along with the trade? Because it would screw them completely if he retired.
Well, I think
they get nothing
with the trade.
I think he'll go with the trade.
You sure?
Yeah, I think he will.
Especially if it's to a team that's not competing?
No, they can't do that man like that. That man's a Hall of Famer. If the Rams do Aaron Donald like that and they send him to a non-competitive team, that's not. I wouldn't retire Ram. I would go in undecided or no name on my Hall of Fame plaque. You can't do that to Aaron Donald, especially what he's done for that organization. That man's a what?
He's a legend.
Nine-time Pro Bowler. He's a walking Hall of Famer, and I don't think they do wrong by him and ship him off to nowhere. I think he'll go to a team that's competing.
Yeah, I
can see the
point. Look, I think Green Bay could use him. I think Minnesota. I think even the Saints could use him. All three of those teams are really they really do need help on that defense. And
but you're talking like the first team you mentioned was Green Bay,
and the Jets have a lot of cap space though.
Not championship caliber team.
No, but they're a team that's still competing. At least he still has.
That's all that's going to matter. It's going to be a team that's competing.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think Donald wants that. I think he wants it. He wants to go to somebody like the Chiefs, the Bills,
the Niners.
Niners. He can help the Niners a lot, bro.
He ain't gonna go to Frisco. I know he's not gonna
go to Frisco, but I mean, he wants to go to a team that that's a competitive team. That's a team that he can't just go to one team and say I'm gonna get a Super Bowl with them because there's so many good teams. The Bengals. There's so many good teams that can win the Super Bowl. He has options to say, like, look, I want to play. I don't think he wants to play for another 5 years, right? He's already contemplating retirement. Was he contemplating retirement because he's just tired of being on a shitty Rams team? Or was he contemplating retirement because he's like, look, I'm fucking tired of playing already. I'm amazing and I'm not getting anything out of it. I got one thing out of it and I'm done.
Well,
he doesn't want to go through a rebuild.
Yeah.
What about KC? and pair him up with Jones.
Oh,
That would be a dude.
I would quit.
Don't you put that evil on us, Ricky Bobby.
Or even like you got. I mean, you said the Bills. Pair him up with Von Miller.
Bills.
Yeah, I like him going to the Bills.
If I can see him going to the Jets, man, they cleared that cap space, and
Well,
with
the
the trade
Jets,
deadline
that's
looming, they got
if he
picks.
goes to the Jets Super Bowl, calling it.
He could take that defense over the top if he did go to the Jets. But
I'm gonna call my buddy right now on the Jets. I'm calling him.
But I mean, I don't know. There's not much to like about this Rams team either. They're old. Their stars are now old. They're aging to the point where that goes. Now I'm pretty sure McVay's going to be done after this year. My question is,
I don't think mentally. I don't think he's even going to be in it.
No, he'll be there. McVay's a professional. He's going to see it through to the end.
Yeah, but mentally, I mean, in the back of your mind, he was already contemplating retirement.
This is the freaking NFL. This isn't Sunday League ball. This is NFL game. Okay, it doesn't matter. You coach them till you're done. And I don't see McVay. If you look at McVay, the players love McVay. I think because no matter what, you could see him last year when they weren't competing. He was coaching the shit out of guys on the sidelines. He was always in it. Like he was very passionate till the very last quarter that they played. McVay, I don't see him being the type of guy to be like, well, I'm 1 foot in, I'm 1 foot out. He
was so far contemplating retirement that he gave his coaching staff permission to go seek other jobs.
Yeah, but he decided to come back, so therefore he is going to be committed. He came back for a reason.
So I have a question on McVay, and it may not be a question for this podcast, but why do you think that McVay is contemplating retirement at such a young age? Like, why doesn't he go and get another team and take him to like Andy Reid did with Philly to KC? Like, why?
What competing team needs a quarterback? I mean, a coach.
A coach?
I don't know. They're hiring coaches left and right. And he knows what he's doing. If McVay he's a seasoned Super Bowl championship coach, and he knows what he's doing. Like, why? Who wouldn't hire him?
I like
some youngin.
I like what Mike said. Man,
Great offensive mind.
Did you see
Dallas?
Dallas?
Oh yeah, Mike McCarthy's on the hot seat, man. That guy.
Yeah, he would take Dallas. McVay would take Dallas to the next level. I don't think McVay retires. If he does, I'd like to know why. Like, there has to be something behind you.
Or does he step down and take a coordinator
offensive coordinator spot? He's a great offensive coordinator, man.
Yeah,
he is. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see him retiring. I think that would just what do you do then? Like your life, if your life, so your head coach, football's your life.
Hey, Gruden's not that old. He's retired.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, maybe he gets an offer from like NBC or something and goes takes a $200 million broadcasting job.
But I don't know. I think the two teams that we just talked about. I think there's going to be a lot of changes.
What do you guys think before we move on? What do you guys think about Cup? I know this team's going to be down. They're going to be slinging the shit out of that football.
I don't think he goes past week 7.
You don't think he continues his dominance as that
soft tissue
top wide receiver?
Those soft tissue issues, they
let me tell you,
100 times
before he got hurt, this is what he was on target for: 163 targets, 136 receptions, 1,622 yards, and 12 touchdowns. If he played a full year, that's what it paced him out.
Yeah, he's still extremely elite. He's still a top 5 wide receiver, no matter what way you look at him. And look, if I am the Rams, I'm pretty much trading every single piece I can before the deadline. And then I kind of wish the NFL would I don't know if they need to move the trade lane back.
Farther. Yeah.
Not enough moves when it comes to the NFL.
What is it? Week 7, right?
Yeah, it's something. It's like
something stupid as fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Halfway mark.
If Cup gets traded, where does he go?
Okay, it's hard. It's hard.
It's tough. Yeah.
You got to remember injuries throughout.
Mm-hmm.
So, another team that could use a really good second wide receiver, the Jets.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking too.
To go with Garrett Wilson.
The Jets, man.
Or the Bills.
I hate to say it, but Kansas City.
Kansas City.
They don't have their number 1 would be what? A number 2 at best on another team?
Yeah. And if Buffalo's serious to get over that top, I think if you pair Cup with Stiggs, that would be a deadly combo over there.
Actually, when we talk about the Raiders, I was actually going to suggest Devontae Adams to the Bills.
That man, he's frustrated right now.
But that's in a couple weeks. We'll talk about that later on.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Rams did have 15 picks though.
Anyone could use cut services.
They had the most picks in day 2 to 3. Out of day 2 and day 3, it was 14 picks.
Yeah,
for the draft.
So because here's the thing: if McVay does leave, it would be nice to leave the new coach an abundance of draft picks for him. Start already.
Set the next guy up for success. Yeah. Don't set him up for failure, bro.
Exactly. Don't just hand him a pile of shit and say turn this gold.
John Gruden?
Not a freaking leprechaun.
Yeah. John, is that you, Gruden?
The Raiders.
So, anything else you guys want to add?
Nah, another shit show.
Yeah, I agree with it. All right.
Not as bad as the clown show in Arizona, but yeah, another shit show.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to a team with a little bit more sauce going on with them. And that's Seahawks. I got the Seahawks winning 10 games this year. I think they're going to be very competitive. I could even see them maybe even winning 11 if Geno Smith, comes back like he did last year and plays the way he did. That offense is gonna be hard to stop. They got 3 capable wide receivers. They always run good. They're always a good running team. That defense is young and strong. They are a very underrated defense. Okay.
Whoa. How are you going to – okay, I agree with everything you just said. But I had to put my hand up. I was like, have you not paying attention to training camp? Like 3 of their 4 running backs are fucking hurt.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Pete Carroll, I don't ever believe what Pete Carroll reports. That man he's not connected with what's in and what's out. He said Charbonnet was going to be out indefinitely. Charbonnet was out for 2 days and he came back and now he's practicing in full.
Tony,
don't ever believe Pete Carroll.
Tony,
you should know if anything from USC.
Yeah.
No, Tony, when was the last year Seahawks didn't go with a bunch of running backs getting hurt?
That's true. They're hurt every year. Every year. Yeah, that's true.
There were a few years back they had to start Travis Homer, and they were
DJ Dallas.
Still good.
Yeah,
they were still
DJ
good.
Dallas. Yeah.
So they're going to run the ball. They're going to be great. As long as Geno Smith stays this Geno Smith and not the one that was drafted.
As long as he don't write back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they set this man up for success, man. Like Scott said, he has 3 elite weapons. Like
I'm excited to see Jackson Smith, Jigba, right?
JSN, yeah, man. That
guy's beautiful to watch play.
Yeah.
He's the truth.
Yeah. And Lockett's production is going to drop. I think a lot.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think
Metcalf is still going to get his. He's by far clear cut the number 1, but Lockett I think is going to have a huge downgrade this year.
Well, not only that, he's on the wrong side of 30. I think he's 31. If you want to check that, he's like 31 going. I don't know what he is. 31 going 32 or something like that.
If you look at Tyler Lockett's stats, he's either like 3 for 28 or like
50 for
30. There's no like in between.
Yeah.
He's either like not around or he shows up. It's just,
I equivocate Lockett to Harvin when Harvin was ending his career, Percy Harvin. So
yeah.
I just feel like the older he gets, the slower he's going to be. Not by much, obviously. He's still a fucking speedster. But DK Metcalf and Jackson Smith are going to just dominate this wide receiver core. Smith's going to leave on top. I think he is. I think it's going to be a wonderful team to watch. But I have him going 10-7. So
I got the same thing, 10-7 for the Seahawks.
Same here.
Good.
Wow, really?
Guys, how long does Pete Carroll stick around, by the way?
I don't know, man.
I thought he was going to retire like 10 years ago.
As long as he's winning, man.
I cannot stand the way he chews gum, though.
Yeah, up and down the sideline.
I have watched that for so long. Oh, I remember when like Seattle would be beating us and he'd just be like, I'm like, oh, I just want to fucking. So
the best parts are the best parts when they show his face and he's just all looking at the replay board.
Yeah, but if you watch him, you would think that he's like 78, isn't he? He's getting up there.
He's older.
Yeah,
he's old.
But he still moves around. Like he's got lots of energy, and he
takes care of himself very well for being his age. I don't see him retiring for another 5 years.
Really?
As long as he's winning. It doesn't even matter if he goes to Super Bowl. He's a above 500 team. He'll stay. And I don't think the Seahawks are going to get rid of him because they have too much respect for him. As much as I think if he keeps staying an above 500 team but not a championship caliber team, they don't get rid of him, which sucks because I think they could do more if they had a younger head coach who's use him as advice. I think he's retiring, just go on a yacht around the world and just chill.
Well, Matt, I know you really like to talk about defenses. What do you think about the defense, Seattle's defense? I think they're underrated.
Dude, I like the offseason moves. They brought back Bobby Wagner. Remember the anchor of those Super Bowl teams? They brought him back from the Rams. Dude, they brought in Devin Bush, linebacker. I think they brought in Jaron Reed from the Packers, defensive lineman. They even drafted Devin Witherspoon, number 5. That man.
I know. I didn't pay attention. Has he signed yet? Because last I knew he had.
Yes, I think he did. I have to, Mike, if you want to look it up or somebody want to look it up. I think he did. I think he got a fully guaranteed contract. Not 100%.
He was the last first-round pick on.
Yeah.
As I read,
July 28th, they signed him.
He already signed, and he left practice early today with a wrap on his left leg.
He'll be all right.
Everyone's yeah, that's the way it always goes.
I like the moves on defense. You know what they're trying to do. They're trying to. We all know they're trying to catch the Niners. They're trying to add defensive people to stop the Niners. So,
but at the same time, if there's a team to do it,
and they got better on offense. They took JSN at 20. Like JSN was the number 1 ranked wide receiver in this draft class, just based off of what he did at the combine. And this man was an elite route runner at Ohio State. 99 percentile route running. I think it was. I got it right here. He's 96% percentile against beating zone and 94 percentile against beating man. He will get open. He's going to man that slot. Lockett's going to play on the outside, so is Metcalf, but he's going to eat up the slot corner so much this year. And it's going to take a while. I'm not saying he's going to start off hot. It may take a couple weeks for him to get going. He is a rookie. But I mean, by the middle of the season, I can see, do not be surprised if you see this man going off a few games here and there for the Seahawks.
Yeah,
I like Jackson Smith a lot too. I agree with Matt. I think he's going to go off. I think that by them drafting Jackson and having Metcalf and Lockett there, this is really up to Geno to prove that he can maintain his greatness going forward. I think he was given that second chance and he shined last year. Now he's just got to maintain it and keep going forward because to me, their only single point of failure right now is Geno Smith. And that's not a knock on him. It's because we know where he was, we know where he's been, we know what he's capable of not doing.
Good year last year, but he's got to do it again.
Exactly. Yeah. You're not. Don't be a one-year wonder.
Show me twice, yeah.
Or one-hit wonder. Don't be a one-hit wonder. Show me twice.
Well, I think
they set him up for success.
There was no pressure last year because Seattle wasn't even expected to make the postseason last year. They came out of nowhere, and again, I think this goes back to Pete Carroll's ability to coach. But now there's pressure. Now there's expectation. So it's one thing to do well and not do well. There's another thing to get handed all these weapons and be like, okay, it's time to shine. So I actually would not be surprised if Seattle is the 3rd seed team. And if the Niners continue with all their injuries, and I know Niner fans are going to hate this, Seattle could leapfrog the 49ers in the standings if the 49ers lose certain pieces.
Yep.
So
I told Scott, I can see the Seattle Seahawks competing for this division run. I mean, they're not going to take it, but I can see giving the Niners during the week 10-ish, 11-ish, it could be a good little run. But I think your Niners will end up pulling away with this division regardless.
I agree.
Yeah, it'll probably come down to the last. Well, the 49ers schedule favors them towards the end of the year. They have us very soft. I think their last 3 of their last 4 games are very soft. I think I have it written down. I don't know.
Well, look at Seattle's last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at Seattle's last 7 games. San Francisco, Dallas, San Francisco, Philadelphia, and then you have the Titans, the Steelers, and the Cardinals. They got 4 very tough games in a row.
Yeah,
sounds like a lot of JSN.
And that's not when to play physical teams. It's not the end of the year. And
their bye is week 5. That gives them no help there either.
No. But we're on agreement. Probably double-digit win team.
Double digits, yeah.
I got them at 10-7. Yeah.
I agree with what you said, Scott. They are 1 injury away from being the number 1 seed in this division.
Yeah,
and that's on the Niners.
One draft pick though that I think you guys will agree that surprised us was the running back that they took round 2.
Oh yeah.
Charbonnet.
It didn't surprise me because, like I said, Seattle loves to run the ball. Like,
Yeah, Seattle loves to run the ball, but Walker did
Carroll.
fine last year.
Pete Carroll loves the 2-back system.
Yep.
He loves to deploy those 2 backs, whether it was Chris Carson and Rashard Penny. And remember, Rashard Penny had the number 1. He had a first-round draft capital. I think Chris Carson was a 7th-round draft pick or undrafted. And after a while, I mean, Chris Carson ended up taking that spot from Penny because of health. But I don't know. I see the upside with Walker. I see the explosive plays. Everybody's seen it. He's a home run hitter. Reminds me of like a Barkley, but a little bit smaller. I just see Charbonnet as a more complete back. As far as pass catching, he has crisp hands, smooth hands for being a big back, goal line back. I see him being the goal line back. I mean, what is he? 6'1", 220 something? And I mean, I think he gets goal line work, pass catching works, and so I think Kenneth Walker gets between the 20 work a lot. So, I mean, who knows? Who knows what Pete Carroll wants to do over there? But we'll see. Oh, and one other thing, Mike, since you say that he was good, right? You said Kenneth Walker was good. He had 17 carries inside the 10, right? Last year, only had 2 touchdowns rushing. He's not a big guy. He's not going to convert inside the goal line, inside the 10, inside the 5.
Well, that backs up what you said. He's going to be
Exactly.
between the 20s, and then Zach's going to be inside the 20s. He's going to be the goal line.
Yeah. So, but also 24% of his carries failed to gain 1 yard.
Yeah, he had a lot of really long runs. Was
63rd ranked among all qualified running backs.
Yep.
And there's 75 that ranked out last year on PFF. So he was bottom of the barrel. Like, he's hit or miss. I remember him having a couple games. It was like 16 carries for like 38 yards, and he'll rip off like a 60-yarder.
So he's like Leonard Fournette. He's like Leonard Fournette when I play you in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, but I mean, you can't. It's just a home run. You can't rely on that. I mean, if you're not getting more than 1 yard a carry on 24% of your carries, that's not a good. Maybe that's why Seattle leaned to. They looked in the second round. They saw this kid out of UCLA. They're like, hey, this kid was the average of career 5.7 yards a carry in UCLA.
Give him a chance. See what he's got.
Let's give him a chance and let's get him in here and get him next to have a little tag team deal in Seattle.
What'd you say, Mike?
No, I said draft him and see what he's got.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Because I mean, I'm sure the Seahawks saw these stats and be like, okay, he's not. I don't think they saw Kenneth Walker as a 350 plus touch guy. I don't see.
Well, wasn't Walker hurt for a little bit last year too?
Yeah, he's always hurt. I think he was hurt in college. He was nicked up a lot last year.
He was injury prone. He definitely.
Yeah, he was always questionable. Like every day of the week, I always seen him on the injury report. He's always hurt. So that too. I mean, Pete Carroll loves his running backs. He's done it with Reggie Bush and Lendell White since USC. He loves the big and the Thunder Lightning. So,
all right, you guys got anything else you guys want to add?
No, I'm good, Scott.
All right. Now we are moving on to the 17-0 49ers.
Or if you ask Matt, the 0-17.
Yeah, so I do have the 49ers going.
Wait, whoa. People.
Huh?
I've never once said that the Niners are going to go 1-17. I've never hated on the Niners.
Sorry, 1-16.
Never. I've never. Okay, go ahead, Scott. What's your prediction? Go ahead.
So, anyways, I got the Niners going either 12-5, 13-4, somewhere in there. They're probably going to be the number 2 seed in the NFC behind Philadelphia. I still think Philadelphia is going to end up probably out for the number 1 seed. There's always key 49er injuries every year. It's been like that since Shanahan took over. I'm expecting Kittle to miss a few games, maybe Debo miss a few games, some secondary to miss a few games. But the one thing that the 49ers have always managed to do is the next guy up always seems to do well. It's just I think that also comes down to every single player in that locker room buying into Kyle Shanahan. Yeah, I think he's besides Jim Harbaugh, he's probably one of my favorite coaches that the Niners have ever had. I trust in him. But Matt, I actually want to start with you because fuck you. I'm gonna let you try to shit on Purdy.
I'm not.
All year, and then
don't wipe a guy
and slap you with the toilet paper.
Don't crown a guy after 9 games. Do not crown a guy after 9 games.
Crowning him. No one has
You are.
other than the starter. No one's saying he's the next elite quarterback because you don't have to be on the 49ers team. All I'm saying is that he is an upgrade from Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay,
I know that.
Does that Jimmy Garoppolo couldn't do is he doesn't take sacks. Garoppolo always seemed like every time, third and something, Garoppolo's getting sacked because he's not mobile. How many times did you see Brock Purdy escape pressure and make a completion, or just be able to get a few yards, or he was smart and just threw the ball away? That's something that the Niners didn't have with Garoppolo. Okay, another thing, he only threw 4 interceptions in 9 games. That's something that Garoppolo doesn't do. He takes care of the football. He also didn't fumble the ball. Takes care of the football. I know you're always like, well, it's all about the system. Okay, if it's all about the system, then Lance would be starting. They would have re-signed Jimmy Garoppolo. The fact is that they see something in Purdy that they believe is better than the other 2 guys.
Honestly, I think the better quarterback is not starting, in my opinion. You got to give what you gave Trey Lance. You got to give this guy another shot. And he had a monsoon going on in Chicago. You can't judge that game. I'm sorry, there was a fucking monsoon. The winds were 30 miles an hour. You could not throw in that game. Next game, it was at home. I can't even remember who it was with. He breaks his leg or whatever. Like, I think he hasn't been given a fair opportunity to grasp this offense. And we all saw it, though. When he was on the field, there were some electric plays that he threw down the field. You know, I mean, I'm not saying he's a great thrower. I mean, nobody's seen him enough to crown him that. But I think if you have Trey Lance in the system, it just opens up a whole dynamic that this offense has not seen since Kaepernick. And Kaepernick couldn't throw the ball worth a lick. And I think Trey Lance is a lot better and more accurate passer.
I can agree with the first part that you said. Yes, Trey Lance has not gotten a shot. There's no denying that. It's just been unfortunate situations that have happened.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're going to start who you feel gives you the best chance to win the game. Bottom line, stats really don't mean shit. At the end of the day, it's win and loss record that matters. And you're going to start who gives you the best chance to win the game. At the end of the day, there's no further discussion needed than that. Because wins and losses are what matters.
Yeah. Matt, going back to what you said, do I feel that they've treated the situation with Lance fairly? No, I don't. But from what I've seen with Lance, Shanahan does not – his calls with Lance were shit. Who takes their quarterback?
Fucking runs them up the middle.
You have arguably the best run game in the NFL. You don't need your quarterback to run the ball. That offense took off after, okay, Lance's rookie year. He got to play 5 games. I was not impressed with what I saw. And I don't think it was because I think Lance is a bad quarterback. It was knocking a lot of rust off because you got to remember he was drafted after COVID happened. Yeah. He had played how many games in 2 years? 10 games, 12 games, something like that in 2 years. And that's what I was trying to get at too. Purdy is a 4-year college starter. He has the experience coming into the NFL. Yeah, a lot of scouts are like, oh, well, this, that. It doesn't matter because sometimes all that matters is you're given the right opportunity. Purdy was given the right opportunity. He ran with it. He won with it. Okay, and now I think he's earned the chance to prove that wasn't a fluke. Okay, you can't tell me that he hasn't earned the opportunity to start.
I guess he has. I mean,
I was just gonna say Tony's quiet.
Okay, before I'm gonna tell you right now. I understand Brock Purdy, right? What was he, undefeated or lost 1 game for the games that he started last year?
Philadelphia game that he got to attempt 4 passes.
I'm talking about regular season. I'm not talking about playoffs. I'm just talking about regular season.
He didn't lose any games.
Exactly. The only team that was over 500 during that stretch was Seattle.
Thank you, man. That's exactly where I was gonna go.
And that was a close game, 21-13. I mean, it wasn't Seattle. They did beat them. I'll give him credit. What did he do? 17-26, 217.
Who was Miami that he came into a 7-3 game where he was down? He came in and won that game. That game doesn't count. Why? Because
talking about starting
half the first quarter. He only missed half of the first quarter. He came
into a game that they're losing.
I'm talking about starting.
Less game. You have less clock. You have less time left on the clock, and you're down. And you come back and win.
I'll give him 2 then. Okay, 2 wins.
2 wins in the last one,
made
2
playoffs. Beat the
2 for
shit
6.
out of Tampa Bay. He beat Seattle. They
Tampa
made
was under 500.
beat
Tampa's
Seattle.
fucking
Tampa
awful.
Bay did not belong in the playoffs. Let's just throw that out there.
Okay, it
they
doesn't
did
matter.
not.
Everyone said that they didn't think Brock Purdy was going to do good against Tampa Bay's defense.
Their
Okay.
defense was on the way out already, anyways.
Said he wasn't going to be able to beat Dallas's defense.
Tampa was hurt. That Anton Smith Jr. was hurt. There was a lot of injuries. I remember that game. There's a lot of injuries.
The fact
Let me put it this way. Can I say something real quick? Finally, I want to raise my hand real quick because y'all fuck the Niners. Let me put it that way. So Brock Purdy is a slightly better version of Jimmy Garoppolo. I will say this, Scott. Nobody was higher on Jimmy Garoppolo than you.
Yeah.
I have hated Jimmy Garoppolo for one sole reason. And it's because when the Niners got him, they gave up a lot to get him and to sign him from the Patriots. And I was like,
Tony,
anything was a lot, right? It doesn't, and it's not.
Second round pick is all we gave New England.
That's too much.
For an NFL-ready starting quarterback that had learned behind Tom Brady.
Backup quarterback his entire career. It doesn't matter if you're backing up Tom Brady. You play one season and you think you're this like elite quarterback. I was like, he's slightly better than Derek Carr, and Derek Carr is fucking garbage. How are you going to say how even a second round pick for fucking Garoppolo? You were so high on Garoppolo, and he really didn't do much. He was injury prone. I knew that from the beginning, and I was like, I even told you from like it's not going to go well for the fucking Niners. It's not going to go well. And what he played a few games, he did take him to the playoffs once.
Once?
Was it once?
No, it was like 3 times, 4 times.
No, 3 or 4 times.
Super Bowl one time.
Over for the 49ers, they were 1-9. He won 5 straight starts.
But okay, so point in case.
Hold on.
I don't think it was Garoppolo. I don't think it was Garoppolo.
Look, he took over a shit team.
I think it's the rest of your team is great. I think the rest of the Niners are great, but they need to stay healthy.
Tony, at the time we were not. We were a 1-9 team when he took over at quarterback. He went 5-1 when he took over a 1-9 team.
Yeah, and he's not that good.
From then on, he was always winning. It's not about like everyone gets so obsessed with stats. Like he doesn't throw for 350 and 4 touchdowns every game. He won. He won. That's all that matters is when you take a quarterback and he wins. That's all that matters.
And yeah, I've always said this. I've always told
one throw away from winning the Super Bowl, which he did miss.
Fucked you guys on that.
But
the
defense also gave up a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter with like 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
they did.
With a fucking
They did. But that one throw, you cannot. Who do you overthrow about like 7 yards? That was wide open. He burnt the corner and safety.
Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah, Sanders. Yeah.
But anyways, look, I know Garoppolo gets a lot of hate, but the fact is, as long as you're winning, that's what really matters.
Okay.
But
check this out, Scotty.
I will say this. Now, Garoppolo, I feel, is more of a system quarterback, and that could be proven.
Oh yeah.
And I think Purdy's
look at where his career was.
I'm gonna tell you. I've always told Scott, once Jimmy G leaves Frisco, you will see the real Jimmy G.
Yes.
You mean you guys will see the real
Jimmy
G?
Yeah,
but everybody's gonna see it. Like I told you, I've told Mike and Scott this. It's the system and the people around that surround that quarterback with talent. Look at all this talent: McCaffrey, Samuel, Kittle, great offensive line, great.
Wait! Did you
always this?
No.
Matt, great talent.
No. Because I'm
great talent. I'm not saying these are elite guys.
No.
Did I say elite?
No. Stop.
Great talent.
No.
And I've always said, what are you guys missing? A great quarterback.
No, Matt, stop. Off camera, you said 49ers have one elite guy, and I guess I'll give it to Kittle.
Did I say elite? I said great.
Mike, what was
I said great right now. Tony.
I heard him say great.
Elite.
I said
right
great.
now, no.
And then I said they have elite McCaffrey.
Even better, you said Debo's name, and you always shit on Debo.
No, he didn't say
before I started naming these guys, I said great. You have great players like McCaffrey. Tony, did not say that. You guys rewind it. You can see, I said great, not elite.
You didn't say elite.
I said off camera before we started.
Yes, yesterday I said you only have one elite dude, and I forgot about McCaffrey. That's 2 guys.
Yeah, I think actually Ayuk is actually not Debo, but I think Ayuk is the one that's going to take a step forward.
Yeah, because he can run routes and Samuel can't. We all know.
I honestly think Ayuk is going to have more receptions and more receiving yards and more touchdowns than Debo Samuel. I think he takes over the number one spot. The one thing about Debo Samuel is he's not going to sit there and route you out of it. He's
a gadget guy.
He's a gadget guy. He's a fucking Taysom Hill of the.
You get the ball in his hands, and he will.
I don't think Ayuk gets talked about enough, and so I want to go on that point too. Like everything Matt said, I wholeheartedly agree with Matt.
Back to my point, like, yeah, it's a great team. And I've always told Scott and Mike, you guys are missing an elite quarterback.
Yeah.
If you have an elite quarterback, you guys look at what you're doing with the average quarterback. I think Brock Purdy's above average quarterback. Jimmy G was an average quarterback, and look what happened. If you guys get, that's why I always said when the offseason happened, if you guys get Rodgers on this fucking team, you guys will win a Super Bowl.
And for however long he's fucking.
But I don't. They didn't want to do that because they'd have fucked themselves for the long term.
Who cares? You're playing
like the Rams winning.
I was just gonna say they would rather the Niners will rather be set up for years to come instead of a very short window like the Rams.
But where has that gotten you?
For what? Where does it get you exactly?
I mean, it could get you NFC Championship appearances. You guys are great. But let's all be real. What do all Niner fans want?
They would have made Super Bowl last year. Injury doesn't happen. Niners were in the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, I mean,
that's two Super Bowls.
You guys sign an elite quarterback. You go to the Super Bowl over and over and over again. We're playing for the long term, Mike.
Okay. How many elite years? How many elite years does Rodgers have?
That's two Super Bowls more than zero.
I don't know about
the injuries that have happened. There's no guarantee they'd have made it.
I don't know about elite years. Rodgers has 2 years. Rodgers has 2 years. I don't know if they're going to be elite. Let's just the man's old. He's like 40.
There you go.
Yeah, but he's better than Purdy. He's elite.
Niners did not want to give up what the Jets did to get him.
Yeah, but knowing what you know now, I wish we would have known this, and I wish Devontae Adams would have fucking talked to him, and he would have told Adams this. He restructured his contract and got a fucking bunch of money so that they could sign people. He probably would have done it whatever team he went to, but the only reason he went to the Jets is because of Hackett.
So let me ask you guys: is Brock Purdy better in the system than Jimmy G?
Yes.
Yeah.
How much?
Purdy's a better quarterback than Jimmy G.
How much more?
In that system or in another system, Purdy's a better quarterback than Jimmy G.
Is it enough to get you over the hump? Is that what you guys believe?
If Jimmy Garoppolo was taking us to the point where we were almost there, and we get a slightly better quarterback, and I believe that puts us into the window of yes. We don't need to be that much better. What we really needed to do, think about what Garoppolo always did in the playoffs. What was the one thing he always did?
Choke?
Turn the ball over. He turned the ball over at terrible times.
So look.
And I do say Brock Purdy's for being a 7th round draft pick. Brock Purdy's playoff wins were impressive.
Yeah,
they're impressive.
Better than most. They're impressive. But look,
he beat Seattle and Dallas.
I will have a different opinion on Brock Purdy after week 10 because what's going to happen? I got
to see it.
I have to see it, and what's going to happen is you guys are going to go 4-0. I have you guys going a lot more than 4-0. But you're going to go 4-0, and everyone's going to be like, Brock Purdy's amazing. He's going to have the same fucking stats he did against these shitty teams at the end of the season that he did. And then you're going to be like, oh, he's elite. Look, I fucking told you so. Like you always do, Scott. You do it too, Mike. I fucking told you so. He's elite. 4-0. I want to see how he does on weeks 5 to 10. Dallas, Cleveland, Minnesota, Cincinnati, Jacksonville.
Hey, Mike.
I actually have only one loss out of all those teams.
So do I, Mike.
Okay, you just fucking contradicted yourself, Tony.
No, Tony, no, I never said they were going to lose those teams.
You said, I want to see how he's going to do. Exactly. You right there said they're going to have one loss.
I got them losing to Cincinnati, and
play well. You guys have a team. It goes back to what Matt said. You guys have great players. You have a great team, but Brock Purdy can't take you to the next level. Is what I'm saying. I want to see that he can. I think he needs to prove that he can take you to the Super Bowl level, and I don't think he's there.
I got a little upset win for you guys. I'll go ahead.
What?
When did I say Brock Purdy was elite? I never said he was elite. That never.
I never said he was elite.
It doesn't. You don't have to say.
No, he didn't say he was elite.
Everything that Matt is saying. You're trying to argue, and by Matt's trying to tell you he's not elite. You got a great team around him.
I don't think he's not fucking elite.
I will give you he's better than Jimmy G. I think he reminds me so much of Jimmy G though. I don't know. I fucking see Jimmy G when he throws the ball. It's weird. I don't know. I see it. I think it's just Shanahan's
much
system.
quicker decisions than Garoppolo. How many times have you seen Garoppolo like pat the ball, sacked? How many times Purdy blitzed last year and got rid of the ball accurately, on time, and the reception was made?
Yeah, he's a good reader, but I haven't seen it to the point where, like a full season, somebody takes his first, second read away. What happens then? Does he get happy?
Great thing about him, he can move out of the pocket.
I know he's mobile.
That's something that we've been missing. I don't want him to tuck and run. I don't want him to do that. But one thing that we haven't talked about is how good is his arm strength going to be after this surgery. Now, he does look pretty good in camp. All right. But how good is he going to be when someone's right in front of his face? Is he going to tuck it because he's afraid he's going to hurt his arm again?
Yeah. I told Mike.
There are some question marks when it comes to that stuff. I will admit that. And I'm not sitting here crowning him the next it factor or anything, because he has only played 9 games. He's technically played just slightly over half a season. Okay. I would like to see what he develops over the course of a second year when people have tape on him. Okay. Maybe some injuries happen, because the 49ers did stay healthy during that stretch. I think he did lose Debo a little bit for I think a time. But yeah, I will say that. Okay, here's one thing. Is there a short string on him? Let's say he comes out flat for like the first 5 games, right? I mean, the Niners are still winning, but let's say he comes out flat and he doesn't look like what he was last year. Do you give Trey Lance a shot after that?
100%.
I would, but I don't think Kyle Shanahan will.
Yeah, I agree.
Mike?
No.
Wow. Okay. I think Lance deserves a shot, though.
Because
I just want to see what he can be.
Hold on. Look at the first 4 games: Steelers, Rams, Giants, Cardinals.
Oh, if you guys go 2-2, somebody's gonna.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna be answering week 1 how good Purdy is, because that's a good defense over there in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, which is a very tough place to play. They did not do him any favors coming out the gate.
Pickens.
Go ahead on our secondary like you were earlier too, so me and Mike can go ahead.
Well, hold on. I got another question for Matt. Injury doesn't happen, Matt. Who wins the NFC Championship game?
I still go with the Eagles.
I still think I thought the Eagles were a little bit better last year.
No question, Mike.
I think if it had been in San Francisco, it's different. But I really do believe if a game like that where 2 teams are perfectly even, like they were evenly matched all the way around. I think home
269 total yards of offense.
For who?
I think if that turned to a shootout and you guys were able to keep up, I think at the end of the day,
Philadelphia had 269 total yards of offense. Hurts had 121 passing yards, and as a team, they had 148 rushing yards.
Yeah, and I can't believe Kyle Shanahan didn't challenge. I'm still pissed off about the Devontae Smith catch on 4th down that was not caught, that he didn't challenge. I couldn't believe he didn't challenge that.
Oh, he didn't catch it.
No, he didn't. And that
I agree, he didn't catch it
around like immediately, because they did score a touchdown off of that. But that's old news. I don't like to live in the past. I'm not a Cowboys fan.
That definitely is one game though that a lot of people are looking forward to. Week 13 at Philadelphia.
Yep.
I think that game means way more to the 49ers than it does to the Eagles. But at the same time, that game could have
huge playoff implications.
That could be the deciding factor of who
a tiebreaker game.
I have you guys losing only because it's away.
Really?
If it was home, you win.
Yeah, there's a chance we may end up having to play the Eagles 3 times in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
And
3?
It's a tough place to play. But
you can't play them 3 times.
2 times.
No, because I'm counting last year in Philly, this year in Philly, and if they're the number 1 seed, again, have to go to Philadelphia.
But that game would technically be next year in January.
Yeah. But anyways, Matt.
Yeah.
What are you talking about pregame? You want to talk about
that's the Niners on your defense. That's your guys' weakest part of your defense. And you guys know it. The secondary is the weakest part of your defense.
I do. We always give up yards. Because yards don't win games.
You bend but don't break.
Win games.
I give it that. But when it comes,
we are great in the red zone. Once we get our backs against the wall, we are really good in the red zone. And we're really good about just stopping teams when it matters. All right.
Is that going to continue against the elite teams though, like Cincinnati, Dallas, Philly?
But here's the thing: we always come away with that stop or that turnover or whatever it is when it matters. It's always been, as for the last few years, that's been the Niners' defense.
So how long do you guys think Nick Bosa holds out?
No, they're about to sign a. They're about to sign the
they're gonna.
He's going to be the highest paid defensive player in NFL history.
Yep.
And
I didn't read that today, but
going back to the whole Rodgers situation, yeah, Rodgers took a pay cut, but we couldn't use that cap on a quarterback because we had to use the cap that we got rid of when it came to Garoppolo's contract. We have to turn around and give that to Bosa. This is another reason we couldn't do anything at the quarterback is because we don't have the cap space. We have way too many people. Like, think about it. We got McCaffrey's contract. We got Debo's contract, Kittle's contract, Fred Warner's contract. You got Nick Bosa's contract. If Brock Purdy does well, we're gonna have to somehow sign him.
Yeah, but you're not going to have to worry about signing him. Last year was year 1.
Yeah, but
you have a few more years.
Ayuk's contract is coming up. So there's a lot of money to be spent that we have to do. And money being.
And don't forget about Trent Williams' contract too.
Trent Williams' contract too.
Yeah. Going back to the secondary, I don't know. It's just I see Chardavius Ward and I see him in Kansas City. He got burnt a lot, but this past year he did do good. I think he was 6 out of the 118th cornerbacks graded. So he ended up having a great year this past year, but he does get burnt here and there a lot. But like Scott said, he doesn't give it the big touchdown play. But outside of that, you have, I mean, right now what is this guy's name? Lenore? He was ranked 74th out of 118th. Terrence Mitchell, 72nd out of 118th.
Yeah,
Isaiah Oliver, I love your secondary. What's your safety? Hufanga?
Yeah.
Oh, he's great. But it's just can the back end. The thing that helps you guys out is your front seven.
Your front seven.
The front seven puts a lot of pressure, so the corners don't have to stay on the island a lot. So,
my thing is they need to stay healthy, man. And it sucks because the Niners always get plagued with injuries. You play hard. And I think I've never seen a team more injured than the Niners in the past 5-10 years. The Niners have the most injuries, probably, if you count all the injuries up on their main team, on the main rosters.
And we still find ways to win.
Exactly.
It's who gets injured is the question. You can't lose those key players.
I know you guys aren't paying a quarterback, and you guys are gonna give what's his name?
Bosa
the millions that he deserves. Outside of that, what's your guys' window? What do you guys? I see. I'm gonna just tell you. I see. There's a window. I honestly think Kyle Shanahan should be on the hot seat. I understand he's been winning all these games, but with this roster he has in hand, from top to bottom on defense and offense, he did the same thing in Atlanta.
As an offensive coordinator, he wasn't the fucking head coach.
He was calling the plays, like he is now.
Yeah, and dude, where does the 49ers offense always rank?
It comes to the point where you have to show me something more than playoff appearances in the divisional and NFC championship.
Coach that has shown that he constantly wins and be like, well, get the fuck out of here. That to me, it doesn't work that way.
I'd say not only with that, but the players. After you extend Bosa.
Yeah, so that's exactly what's going to
extend Bosa. What's going to start happening? I mean, I know you don't pay a quarterback, but I think you guys have maybe 2-year window, 3-year window before you guys need to start extending a lot more people. As far as Ayuk's up, I think, in 2 years.
I agree. That's where I'm going to go.
If they're smart, they do.
Debo has that big contract that's not worthy.
If they're smart, they're going to do Ayuk next year.
Debo needs to either take a restructure
because you're going to have a quarterback that you got to do, whether it be Trey Lance or Brock Purdy the year after that.
But even then, Trey Lance and Brock Purdy, even if Brock Purdy does average this year, or he even carries you guys, he's not going to have the numbers to warrant. I want to be the highest paid.
No, he's not. He's not going to get it. He's not going to get a huge contract, but it's going to be a lot more than what his rookie contract is.
Yeah, but I mean, that's why I agree with what Matt was just saying. Like, your window is closing. Your guys' window is closing because of all the players. Like, you have a great team overall. The Niners are fucking great. You can't pay all those great people.
Because I believe Armstead. Did you guys extend him? Or Hargrave?
Yeah, we gave him that fucking contract
for Armstead.
Oh, dude. And then Hargrave is going to be up, I think, in 2 years. I'm looking right now. Yeah.
Bosa's contract.
2-3 years.
Yeah, they had to decide between DeForest Buckner and Armstead. Armstead was locked up long term. I actually think his contract might be up in 2 years.
I think they
As
made
far
a
as the
mistake.
window being open, Matt, that's actually what I give it. I give it this year and next year is what I give, unless we hit on some really big rookies elsewhere throughout the drafts. Kittle has a history of being injured. He plays so hard. I don't know if Kittle can last like how most tight ends last.
Yeah.
Like a Kelsey.
He plays, yeah.
Yeah, the way he play. I love the way he plays, but it's
Tell
not.
his ass to get down, man.
Yeah, but it's not.
He loves to hit. He loves to hit.
Bro.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's hurt. He's going to be out because he's hurt too much.
What I really think we need to do is draft another Deebo Samuel, that type of physical guy, and I think ask Deebo to restructure his contract down the road.
Yeah, he needs to take money off that because what is he? I think he's top 5 right now in pay, right?
He is, but over the course of time, you guys got to remember the cap always goes up. And
goes up, yeah.
I think we're gonna find out how much people really want to stay in Frisco here, like in the next couple of years, when some contracts are gonna have to get restructured.
So, who do you think takes the biggest leap this year? I think it's Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Ayuk.
Oh, I love Ayuk. Yeah.
He's great, man. He's great to watch.
He's a great route runner. I love the way he runs the routes, man. He's a great route runner across the field.
I know Matt's got a little underrated running back though that he loves.
Hey, why don't you free my man over there, Scott? I know got some connections over there.
Fortunately, and McCaffrey is fucking god when it comes.
Free Jordan Mason. If you guys, I think you guys could deal without McCaffrey.
It wouldn't surprise me to see Mason jump Elijah Mitchell on the depth chart just because of Mitchell's injury history. He's already hurt right now, and the Niners are already trying out 4 or looking at 4 different running backs.
I just read an article like 2 days ago saying Jordan Mason is the RB2 or is the backup running back to McCaffrey.
He should be. He's
that man.
He is. I watched him last year. He just doesn't have that breakaway speed. People will be catching from behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jordan Mason.
He's a good pass catcher though. He's.
It sucks. He sits behind McCaffrey, bro.
Yeah. But I mean, if McCaffrey, I'm not gonna say it, but if McCaffrey was to miss time with injury, I'm not saying a week or 2, I think Mason can be he can be plenty serviceable in that offense.
Yeah,
for sure.
But man, I'm a little disappointed, man. You were talking so much more shit in the fucking pre-lobby than we come out.
No, I'm just saying. No, I was talking the same shit.
It could be good. I don't know.
You're like 9 games.
Sucks.
I told you guys he does suck. No, I'm just fucking. He's better than Kaepernick. I told you, all United fans, just watch. Kaepernick's he's not it.
Look, the one thing I did say about Kaepernick is I said, yeah, that's great that he can run. The NFL is obviously make adjustments. He better learn to learn how to
throw the ball,
or he's done. And he didn't have a pocket pass. He just stayed.
I'll give you one thing. Brock Purdy does throw from the pocket. He stands in there and he'll rip it. I give him that. But I just want to see. This team has all the talent in the world to win a Super Bowl. I just feel bad that you guys. I'm not even a Niner hater. I've always told Scott like the Niners are good. I always project them to win a lot of games. It's just I feel bad that all these years are going wasted with no damn quarterback play. I mean, had the chance for Brady, I would have just.
Yeah.
When Brady was before he went to Tampa, I would have just gave 2 first rounds for Brady. I don't give a shit. Give me a Super Bowl.
Let's win a Super Bowl. Because at the end of the day,
come back to your hometown of Santa Clara. Give me a Super Bowl in Frisco.
It goes down to what Mike said. Mike, you're talking.
Give that shit up.
Oh, it's about the long term. Nobody cares about the long term, Mike. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what you think. Nobody cares about the long term.
Everybody's gonna have to rebuild.
We want a fucking Super Bowl. That's what fans want. That's what most of the fans want on any team in any sport that exists. You want a Super Bowl. You want a championship. Doesn't matter if
this team is
they fucking can go to the Super Bowl every year.
This team is a Super Bowl.
They're set up long term.
Okay,
Let's go to Mahomes.
Mahomes is he's goated.
Mahomes carries that team. Let's just throw that out there.
I will say this: as good as the roster it was in Philadelphia, right? They're probably a mirror image of the 49ers. They still lost in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
because Mahomes is goated.
That was not a holding call. That was bullshit.
It wasn't.
They ripped us off of a fucking phenomenal ending to that Super Bowl. It would have been a classic. But anyways, they still lost.
Look. The point is that you're still going to have to dethrone one of those big AFC teams to win a Super Bowl. Here's a little fun stat on that Super Bowl. as good as that defensive line was for Philadelphia, which they ate up shitty teams all year because they put up a bunch of points. They got all this garbage time sacks. Guess how many sacks they had in the Super Bowl?
I don't even
I don't think they had any, did they?
A big
Yeah,
fat
I mean,
zero.
that's going to change this year, though.
Fat zero.
Oh boy, that defense with Fletcher Cox and that who's that rookie they got at number 8 or 9? Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Now they're going to be there. You can almost argue the defense might even be a little bit better.
Yeah, their defense definitely improved. Definitely improved.
So
I see, man, dude, I see either Niners. I see the Niners NFC Championship. I don't know, just who is it, Eagles or Cowboys playing against you guys?
probably gonna be another Cowboy Niner game. To be honest, it could even be Detroit, San Francisco.
Detroit? No. Now we're just. Are you
That's
serious?
far-fetched. I don't agree with that. I think it's Dallas.
I see Detroit making it. I can see Detroit making it, winning one game, maybe.
I'm just saying I could see Detroit and San Francisco playing each other in the playoffs. Like,
Oh, okay, my bad. I thought you said NFC Championship.
I can literally see. Yeah, not an NFC championship. I can literally see.
Championship. Eagles are going to be in championship.
I
Barring
can say
injuries,
Philly.
Eagles will be in the NFC Championship.
here's
I would
the
like
thing
to see a
last year.
rematch with you guys. I would like to see that
I
rematch.
can see an exact replica of what happened last year can happen this year.
Yeah, the one thing about the Eagles that I'm looking, I want to see is that now they are nothing taken away from the Eagles. They were great last year. They were definitely a top 3 team, but man, they were able to just walk through their schedule. Now they got some tough games finally this year. You can even argue Dallas is a better team this year, and they're going to have to play Dallas twice. I do think Dallas is going to take one of those games, but if Jalen Hurts were to go down,
Oh, don't say that.
Oh, bro,
No, I-
not fucking
you have
word.
to play scenarios. Okay,
I'm not gonna
Jalen
work for you.
goes down. Can they still be a top tier team? without-
No,
No.
Why not?
no, but I mean that's like because they don't have. That's the thing. They have an elite team, but look at their backup. Their backup's not even average.
No,
Well-
Nick Sirianni. I know, dude. No.
He's still got AJ Brown. Look at if Matt thinks Mike White can carry the load in Miami for a while, why can't someone be throwing AJ Brown and Smith?
Are you talking about a full year hurt injury, or are you talking like a couple weeks?
4 or 5 weeks.
Oh yeah, no, yeah,
For 4 weeks, yeah, but not
yeah,
full-
yeah. I thought you said the
full
whole season.
injury.
No,
Yeah, I thought you said the whole
no,
season. I was like, no.
Okay, Hurts runs a lot. Let's just say he gets a high ankle sprain. He's gonna
God,
miss 5 weeks.
Why do you keep? You know what? That's a fucking. You're mad about last year.
we don't talk fantasy here,
I'm
but
not mad about
Jesus.
last year. We got fucking beat. I accept.
Jalen Hurts. I didn't say anything. His name is Scott Hanley.
Look, Matt just worried because Matt's all about fantasy football.
I just traded for him, man.
Fucking stuff.
Oh,
They
you
do?
You want to do a trade, Matt? I have him.
Fuck. All right, go, Scott. Finish your point.
Hey, no, check this out, Tony. In the other dynasty, me and Matt are Trevor Lawrence and Jalen Hurts. We swapped.
Oh, Trevor Lawrence is a bad man.
Who did?
Me and Matt did.
Collusion. Nah, I'm just.
And a player to be named later.
That's just Tony's nickname. It's fucking collusion. Everything.
But hey, to get back to your Niners, I want to add one more thing. I think
You're a
I
bitch.
saw the connection. No, I saw the connection between Purdy and Kittle. If they get Kittle and unlock him in this offense, stop getting that man to block. I know he's one of the great
And
pass
Kittle
blockers
had
in the NFL.
Kittle
Get
had
that
a
man
down
in
year.
the.
Kittle had a
Yeah,
down
he had a
year
down
last year too.
Yeah,
But he had 11 touchdowns, and I think he
His
took off
touchdowns
when
were there.
Purdy.
His yardage wasn't.
Yeah,
Look, it's because there's a lot of weapons around. He doesn't have to be a
he
fucking
don't.
80 reception tight end.
No,
Look,
no, he don't. I'm not saying that. In
Red
the
zone
big
and-
games,
I'm
get that
telling
man the
Mike,
ball.
telling Mike that. Like,
Oh,
No, I know.
the problem is that people get so caught up in stats. It's not always about the stats. It's what you can help your other teammates accomplish by
Which
taking
is
pressure
him
off of-
Open
pancaking
up.
people.
yeah, open up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's just like when you look at the Philadelphia's offense. It's pick your poison. You're trying to take away AJ Brown. You're trying to take away Smith. Like you run them both down the field. Hurts is going to run on you. It's the same thing with the 49ers offense. It's like, okay, you got to take away are you going to try to take away Debo's, yak yards? Kittle, another yak yard king. You have McCaffrey in the backfield. You get him in the open field, and it's trouble. You got Brandon Ayuk, who's moving into elite route running. You don't have to worry about an individual stats. It's just any one of those guys can carry your team any given week, and that's what it's about. Like you just mentioned, the 11 touchdowns. Obviously, Kittle was a huge threat in the red zone. Purdy threw a lot to him in the red zone, and that's what he should be used as. Now, I know, Matt, you're arguing about don't have him block so much, dude. The problem is that he's so good.
No, he's the best.
Are a run first offense. Regardless of what we have, the Niners are a run first offense. Bottom line, everything is built off of the run. So
I understand that. You guys should have went out there, signed a great pass blocking tight end, and let this man eat up the middle. But I mean, who am I, right?
Slot? Imagine him in the slot.
Yeah.
I would say this: if Brock Purdy unlocks his true potential, it's going to be because of George Kittle. If he stays healthy on the field, because we all know Kittle gets nicked up here and there. Like Mike said and Scott said, the way he plays, this man, he does not. He will see the sideline. You see the safety. Safety, you're going down. I'm not going out. And
Niners did take a tight end round 3.
They did, but
here's another thing.
And another one round 7, but I know it's late.
If Brock Purdy's going to reach that potential, it's going to be because George Kittle going off, and a little bit of Ayuk and everybody else. But Kittle's going to be the main guy.
Now here's something, guys. I was a little disappointed that Matt and Tony didn't mention. I was waiting for one of you guys to announce what helps Brock's Purdy development is the defense he gets to practice against.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's actually
most definitely.
Right, yeah.
So he's going up against the top 3 defense every day in practice. Now when he steps on the field and he plays teams like the Rams and the Cardinals, like
dominate them.
You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's something he needs to show that he can do that. Like, right, with the game time decisions where it matters, like practice whatever. Like you got Garoppolo throwing fucking 7 interceptions in 2 days. You got Dak Prescott throwing interceptions in practice. I don't hear that about Brock Purdy, but I don't know how hard he's going out there against that defense in that practice.
He's been cleared. He's fully cleared.
I know he's fully cleared. But how hard is he going? I don't think he should be going hard. I think they should be taking it light.
He's been chucking the ball down.
Fuck no. You got to open that shit up. You got to see what you got, man.
But they already said he's not playing preseason game 1.
Yeah.
He plays. To be honest, I don't know if he even plays a preseason game. He might maybe. I know
he needs to go in at least for a series.
Is third. Yeah, maybe a couple series. The third game, but I don't know.
One other thing, I know, Matt, you were talking about the Niners' weakness on defense being the secondary. We didn't talk about it either. Niners lost Jimmy Ward, who was their veteran. No, right. Hold on.
You're kidding, right?
No.
He was all right.
It's your brother, Scott.
Listen what I'm saying. It's not necessarily his stats, but it's his veteran presence and leadership in the locker room with that secondary.
Did you not pay attention to Emmanuel Mosley? The dude was freaking dude. I was so disappointed that they let him walk to Denver. Denver's going to fall in love with him. That guy was one of the most underrated cornerbacks in NFL. That he is solid. And I know you're doing all this, Matt, but go watch tape on him, and you're going to be.
I didn't say anything. I'm just saying that because fucking Denver's going to fucking
shit all over you guys.
Yeah,
that fucking defense, dude.
The Raiders are fucking last in our division. I hate to say it, bro.
That Denver defense, I swear.
I think we've lingered on.
Hold on, before we end it, I would let me end it one more time. Okay, make it quick. Is Trey Lance gone after this year?
If Brock Purdy takes the Niners to the
playoffs
as a top 2 seed, and he looks like mirror image of what he was last year, I think the 49ers need to let him go somewhere else because he's talented enough that he deserves a shot somewhere. And it's not going to – and unfortunately, with the things that happened, I feel really bad for him. And I understand that we gave up a lot of draft capital, but at the end of the day, if you feel you're better with your 7th rounder than your 1st rounder, you got to do it. I think some teams get
It's a
so
business.
stuck on, well, we gave up all this
Draft
for
capital,
the guy, but if he's not
How
performing,
much draft capital do you think you get for him?
Yeah.
not much, because they were trying to shop him last year. They're probably going to get a third round pick for him. Maybe a desperate team will give you a second rounder. No matter what, we're not getting back what we traded for him.
Do you think they trade him if Purdy is doing good up until the trade deadline? Do you think they trade him this year?
You want to know what?
That was what I was going to say. Trade deadline. When is trade deadline? Beginning of November?
November, like
Week 7.
13th.
Can't be week 7. Week 7 is October 23rd.
Let me see.
Like beginning of November. It's always the beginning of November.
I think it's week 8 or week 9.
Let me bet that. Give me a second.
I think it's after
It's
week 8.
October. No, it's October 31st.
Yeah, it's after week 8.
Oh, it is week 8. Yeah, whatever. Week 8. Yeah.
Beginning
I
of
actually
November.
okay. Going into Tony's scenario, I have the Niners at that point at 7-1.
Well,
I think at that
if
point you got to
there's
protect your
teams-
ass if you're the Niners. Because
if
something
there's
happened to
teams-
Purdy.
well,
If there's teams that are calling,
You get him.
I
do
would
the
ship him.
Niners trade him?
No,
if there's
I
teams that
don't.
need him.
I don't.
well, listen to this. They're actually saying Sam Darnold might leapfrog Trey Lance.
I was just going to point that out, Scott. I just saw on the depth chart.
Yeah, they're saying Sam Darnold's been doing good.
Yeah, and you got to remember, Sam Darnold was a first-round draft pick. It's not like
he's
he's
good.
like slouch, but I mean he hasn't performed very well.
But going back to what
Well,
Matt
the USC
says,
quarterback,
any
what do you
quarterback
expect?
you can put in our system.
yeah, so I think Trey Lance could possibly get traded if we're healthy. We're doing things, and someone offers, like, let's say, a second-round pick, even someone in the AFC. I think you owe it to Lance to let him walk and prove it. I don't like seeing him wasted
Yeah.
on the bench. I just
Yeah.
they're not doing him any justice, especially if you're going to have him third pick. Now, by the way, another rule change to, and I wish this had happened.
I know what you're getting to.
Is you can now carry a third quarterback
Oh,
without being penalized a roster spot.
At
like
a third
that.
active quarterback.
Yep. So as far as the Niners, we've always just carried 2 quarterbacks. Now we're going to be able to have that third out there, and we'll see. We'll see if that ends up. Hopefully, it doesn't come down to that, but you never know.
With the Niners, you do never know. You really don't.
Hey, before we end the podcast, let's get the little Javonte Williams news. How in the hell is this man doing this?
Dude, I don't know.
man.
I'm actually scared for the guy. Like,
I started thinking that the other day.
and compete, but man, like, I tell you what, if he ends up getting hurt like immediately,
In the preseason?
if I'm that doctor, I'm just gonna put in my papers.
Resign.
Yeah,
You have to. You have to, bro. I think they're pushing him way too
He's
fast.
taking he's gonna not play preseason week 1, but he's playing preseason week 2.
Yeah, preseason week 2. They're putting Russell Wilson in preseason. Like Sean Payton, he
But
came
it's a
in
new,
because I want to see what you guys are made of.
coach. It's a new coach. It's a new scheme. They're
New
trying to
coach,
just get
new
reps.
team. Yeah, but Sean Payton, he's gonna test him out. All right, you make or break. I say you make or break in preseason.
Not make or tear.
Oh God, you
Yeah.
knock on wood, Mike.
Oh wow!
yeah.
I just wanted to see Matt's
But
reaction.
yeah, that's the news. Besides that, Kareem Hunt visited New Orleans today.
I think that would
nothing
be.
much.
Yeah, 3-game suspension for Kamara.
Kamara.
I think Kareem Hunt would be a great signing. I
I think he still has it in him. I mean, he did well as a backup in Cleveland for a long time, and I think he has it in him to still be above average.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty much
well.
it as far as news.
Who's going to be Who's going to be? And it's another week and another no running back signed. Who's going to be the
Domino.
running back that signs?
I think Dalvin Cook goes first, but to where I don't know, man. I honestly have no clue.
If he was
hearing
going to
he
go to
wants Miami.
if he was going to the Jets, I think he would have signed already.
Yeah, I'm
what
hearing he
happened
really
out
wants
there?
to go to Miami. But we'll see. We shall see.
All right, guys. Well,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and wrap up then. So, for everyone tuning in, thank you. We appreciate all of the viewership that we've been getting. I know this was a really long podcast. It'll probably be another long one the next 2 weeks because, I mean, obviously, there's a lot to talk about next week. Well, we got the AFC North, right?
AFC
Yep.
North, yeah.
Yeah, NFC North. AFC North.
Talk about a division. That's probably the best division in football. And as far as all four teams being
Having a
all
winning
four of us
record.
capable of making the playoffs. Let's
Yeah, I want to.
All four teams, I think, could win 9 games.
yeah,
minimum.
Technically,
I don't know. We're gonna find out. Maybe that would be something that we disagree on. I don't know.
yeah. I think 3 of the 4, but we'll talk about it next week. I think Steelers are a big question mark for me, but everybody else, yeah.
Pickens.
Hey, Matt, fuck you.
I didn't hate on your Niners. I hated Brock Purdy.
Nah, but that was just for before. That
Oh,
was before we.
I'm gonna put you guys on timeout.
that was for that Pickens card?
All right. So, anyways,
Oh, wow.
it's an hour and 25. Let's get out of here. Thank you again to everyone that's been watching and been following us. We got some announcements coming up in the next 2 weeks. We do have some future partnerships coming up. So we're get those announcing. Me and Lucky we'll jump on probably a separate podcast and do those announcements. But yeah, big things coming for Jim Minton Sports and
New podcast series too that you didn't talk about.
Yeah.
For us.
Yeah, you know what?
Oh, yeah.
I'll announce that next week, like at the beginning, so people can listen
Yeah.
to that. I'll announce that from the get go. We're talking about that. Me and Lucky actually recorded some stuff last night, and we talked about that a little bit. But we're due the full announcement maybe next week before we jump into the podcast. But again, thank you for everyone for listening. Thanks to my 3 amigos right here, and we will see you guys all next week with the AFC North.
Pickens.
See ya.
Pickens.